This meeting is being recorded.
And that's not Miriam's voice, it's much deeper than that. If anyone requires BSL, please put your hand up, or you know someone who requires BSL, please let us know. Irina will be here throughout the events and the sessions, so if you need BSL, please then let us know as well. Just some guidelines: listen to each other, be respectful, you don't have to agree, share what comes to mind, enjoy being part of shaping East Ham community neighbourhood. Some of you have seen this by emails or attending the last event. But what is People Power Places? The People Power Places, previously known as community assemblies, gives Newham residents the chance to make a positive change together in our local area. So we are one of the largest participatory budgeting program in the country, and that's something that we should be very proud of for Newham. Newham has 8 community neighbourhoods, and East Ham is one of those. Each neighbourhood will be allocated £200,000 funding to spend on local projects done by local people in the next 2 years. Anyone who lives, works, learns in the East Ham can take part and apply. So you must be asking, where does this money come from? So this money, NCIL, the Neighbourhoods Community Infrastructure Levy, is a charge on new development to help fund strategic and neighbourhood infrastructure in Newham. So what are the criteria for the NCIL funded projects? Projects that help develop and grow East Ham, projects that improve public spaces and infrastructure, projects that improve health and happiness of the local community. So you'll see this cycle, and this is a 2-year cycle of what steps we'll be doing. So step 1, in the last event, you came to decide on your local priorities. Step 2 is today, and you're here to discuss solutions to the priorities and how to improve the area. Step 3, you'll come up with project proposals to receive funding, and residents could apply up to £5,000, and if you're a voluntary community faith sector organisations, you could apply up to £20,000. Your vote, step 4 is then kind of voting for your favourite project online. And then step 5 is successful projects are delivered by residents and local organisation with the support of Newham Council where projects need that support. Step 6 is coming together and to celebrate the achievements of the programme. And you see this chart diagram a number of times, and you may have seen it from previously. So we've gone through our priorities, and we're here today with our solutions. September will be the project application, and then in October will be the votes, and then November will be the announcement of the successful projects that made it through to the final stage. And then in year 2, April to March, is the delivery, monitoring, and the implementation and the celebratory of the projects that got voted in. So you must have seen this chart. I'm saying all the time, isn't it? You've seen this chart before. You may have seen this map. So it'd be good to know. Hands up if you're from East Ham. East Ham Ward. Okay. East Ham South. Brilliant. Wall End. Oh. Oh, two. We've got 2 from Wall End. Brilliant. And hands up, is this your first People Power event? A couple of hands up here. And the people who've attended previous events before? Okay. The other people who've seen my haircut before? Yeah? Excellent. Okay. So why we're here today, for 3 main objectives are to generate ideas to address local priorities chosen by residents, test ideas with experts, just whatever idea you have is to speak to the expert to say, can it work? Will it work? and who to kind of partner. Turn ideas into proposals that could be funded by people power places. So with our activities, as I said earlier, and in the activities, the first activity will be broad ideas to address the priorities. That's what we'll discuss. Number two, activities, focus ideas that could be turned into projects. And then the third one, to ask the expert that could be turned into feasible projects. So just online, just want to introduce Victor Cook from our children's services, part of a CMT.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm Victor Cook. I'm Assistant Director of Quality Assurance in the CYPS CMT, representing Tim Aldridge, who's my Director of Children's Services. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Victor. Just staying online, Chris, just the pages still around the working group members. So if you first go online, Mariam, with our working group member, if you just could put your hand up. I can see Deirdre. Nishma, I can see there's Mania. Angela. Okay. Mazza as well, I think. There are a few online, so okay. And in person as well. The stand-up guys are working group members. There we go. So this is East Ham working group members. So they're going to be with us for the 2 years. And it's made up of residents, councillors and officers are on the working group. This year we've had a huge amount of numbers of applications to be on the working group. We had nearly 40 applications, which was fantastic. And we've got 21 people on our working group, which is absolutely fantastic through the full cycle. Joseph, you want to... We did try to get a volunteer from everyone, quite a shy group. We had to pay Joseph.
Sorry, I got some notes. So I'm Joseph. I'm a working group member for this project. I've been living in Newham for last 15 years. Lots of things have been changed since then. Some are good, some are okay. I'm excited to see Newham is supporting various creative and innovative projects through people power places. We have a really welcoming and diverse community in here in East Ham. I want to see more families and young people enjoying the benefit of this project through PPP, people power places. We have loads of help available through Zach, Sam, Kulsuma, and other working group members in here. I'm looking forward to support as many exciting projects through completion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And their work will be quite intense in September when the scoring and when the application will come to an end. But their work will be quite important when we score the applications. Okay. So this is the list of each ward area and the names of our working group members. In the last People Power event, we voted on the top 3 priorities for East Ham, and you as residents voted top 3 were health and wellbeing, youth empowerment, community development and participation. So just some facts. So we go into health and well-being. Some key facts around people in Newham have poorer health outcome than the population overall. 17 out of 20 residents satisfied with their life nowadays. Newham has also the worst health life expectancy than London and England for men and women, and the number of years in which people are in good health. So health and well-being includes not just limited to improving health and social care, tackling health inequalities, responding to the cost of living crisis, life expectancy and aging well, and loneliness, isolation, and mental health. Now, these are some projects from the last cycle, and also some projects from around the world, just to give you a little flavor on the stuff that you may be able to do, or just give you an idea. And, you know, 3 great projects from East Ham, Mealy Social Club. There you are, that's there. You know, activities for young adults with learning disabilities and mental health to develop social skills and build friendship. And then you've got Connecting Nature, a support network for women to come to a safe space to meet, talk, exercise, improve well-being, mental health, physical health, and decreasing isolation. And then Irina with our Generation East London project is BSL storytelling for deaf awareness training and self-defense classes for the deaf community. And then some around the world projects. You've got the Good Gym, and organized run, walk, cycle to help local community organizations and isolated older people by doing practical work. Then you've got befriending, connecting people in the community and combating social isolation. And the Mass Movement Bus is a free, accessible and mobile community space for people to experience the benefit of mindfulness and compassion and practices. So with youth empowerment, Newham has the 2nd highest age profile of any borough in London, or 9 in 10 age under 65. Through Young People's Charter, young people in Newham identified priorities most important to them were change, creativity, relationship, community, health, diversity, keeping safe, environment, quality, and privacy and independence as well. So with youth empowerment, enable all children and young people to reach their potential, to be safe, happy, healthy, regardless of their background. Again, with youth safety, activities for children and young people, and as play, school, readiness, and high quality childcare. And these are some projects from, again, last cycle, from other neighbourhoods. So you've got youth football club, football sessions, special events encouraging youth to become more physically active and socialise. You have the multi-use games area at Beckton Glow. Outdoor space for young people who use the youth zone to play sports and games. And then Voices Through the Wind, one of our projects in East Ham, is the Rago Zulu Nation's 5 weeks creative writing course, enable young people between 18 to 13 to express their voices through creative writing. And again, some projects from across the world, play streets, temporary road closures to allow children and young people to play on the streets. Youth theatres, empowering people to build confidence through theatre, and then Power Up, an arts and skills development project for young women in Islington at risk of becoming involved in criminal activities. And our last priority, community development and participation. So around a quarter of residents agree that they can influence decision in their local area. And you know, a lot of you are here today. 3/4 of residents agree that people from different backgrounds get on well with each other. More than half residents have taken part in some informal volunteering over the past year. Around 6 in 10 residents are very or fairly satisfied with the area as a place to live, and over a third of residents identify as belonging to a group that is discriminated against in the UK, and most to 10 experience discrimination, often or all time. So community development and participation, the type of projects that you may want to feed this into the priority could be things around kind of increasing people's involvement and a sense of belonging to the local community, involved in a sense of getting on with each other, being satisfied with the area itself, and increasing participation in volunteering, culture, interfaith, and intercultural dialogues as well. Some projects from last cycle, Willow, a project from East Ham, a theatre project in Central Park with theatre craft workshop series on the event. Acid Project, a free community event at Custom House bookshop, and Beckton Community Project events, exercise classes, women's yoga delivery. And then you got projects from across the country and across the world. So you got library of things to borrow useful things that you only use now and again. A community fridge, reduce food waste by sharing food with our neighbours, and then the big lunch. Communities across the UK came together to share a friendship, fun, food and fun. So you may be very tired of listening to my voice, and this is your time now. So we're going to do our first activity. And we've got our facilitators on the table. And this is just to kind of, what ideas could help address the priorities on your table. So you're all in a priority table, either it's health and well-being, youth empowerment, or community development. Write down on the post-it notes, just a one word or 2 words of as many ideas as possible on the post-it notes that you can kind of put down. So our facilitators will take care. We'll do this for 10 minutes. And online, if you could open up the Jamboard to do the session as well. We'll spend 10 minutes to do this.
Thank you, Zach. Right. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to put a Jamboard link in the chat for you. So you can feel free to also add any comments as you please. But I'm just about to open the breakout rooms now. Thank you. So you'll see a prompt come up. So whichever priority you'd like to speak about, if you click on that room, and it will take you into the breakout room.
I'm happy to go first. Unfortunately, Mazar, who was discussing his project ideas, had to leave for a different meeting. But we spoke about different sort of things in terms of youth empowerment and projects around boot camps or training opportunities to allow sort of young people to get some leadership skills and some opportunities to work as groups over some periods, and maybe something that can take place throughout the year.
Thank you, Afia.
CJ, do you want to go next?
Hello, yes, we had a very successful discussion, lots of good ideas, but Leanta presented something that she wanted to run. It was something to do with having artwork in parks, and Nicola was able to give loads of expert advice about it. She had 2 ideas, so we had only got to the first one, so that was something we'll have to get back to Leanta on, but it looks like a very good idea.
Thank you, CG.
And so I was in the health and well-being room. And so some of the ideas that came up was things like walking buses, encouraging cycling, car sharing, and then healing through creativity. So things like crafts and clay work and things like that. But one of the projects that we took a deeper dive into was the walking bus. So this was having groups of children walking together in the mornings and after school. So we had to kind of consider costs of that, high-vis, volunteer incentives, communications expenses, and yeah, so but things that we had to kind of also consider was safeguarding, but it would also be a good opportunity for partnership working with schools. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mariam. Thank you very much. Online. Now we're going to go in the room. Amelie.
Oh, right, I've got all that. This is the difficult thing, trying to read what you're saying and juggling with a microphone. I don't know if I can do two things at once. I'm Chris. I'm here with the one of the tables for community development, and we had, like a previous speaker was saying, a lot of ideas initially, but we've tried to whittle it down into sort of three areas or three particular ideas, and two of them are sort of linked up together really. One was the idea of a cultural performance street events on the High Street North to sort of recapture the High Street for people and make it a community, more of a community space. So we were thinking about things like a talent corner, art displays in shops by local people who produced artworks, or you could have some street theatre and music if there were local groups who would wanted to do that. And it would need some coordination. And we began to sort of deep dive into ideas about how we could bring this about and what would be needed. And we'd need things like licenses for events, for example. So that was the general gist of that. The second one was, now I wonder how this will go down, car-free days on the High Street, where these sort of things could actually happen or help encourage it. Obviously, there'll be a lot of consultation needed, and there surely are big practical problems associated with it. But again, it has that central idea of, you know, making the High Street a place where people want to go and is lively in the right sort of way, and encourages the talents and abilities of people in Newham to come together and to share it. And the third idea was to provide sports facilities and activities in Central Park. Now, that already happens in lots of different ways. There's various groups who use it for exercise and so on. But there are tennis courts there, and one idea was to have a kind of an arrangement. There's a kind of contraption on Central Park at the moment which can be opened with the use of an app. We had certain sorts of weight training equipment in it. And you could also use something like that for rackets for tennis when people haven't got them, and they could then use the tennis courts more easily, or nets for volleyball, for example. And there was a lot of keen interest for the idea of having a snooker table in the cafe, which is exercises of a certain sort, but we wondered about the practicality of that, but it may be. So those are the things we were thinking about. So thanks very much.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Really great ideas on that table. Desiree? They're looking at each other.
Right, our table had lots and lots of yellow stickers, but we've ended up with just one idea from all of them. And our idea surrounds training on a variety of issues, because as a rapidly aging citizen and resident of this borough, I've only within the last couple of years realized how remote this building and our management structure has become from the local population. Because if you're not IT literate, you don't know what a QR code is. If you haven't got a smartphone, you're totally excluded. So we got that exclusion on top of the fact that many people don't speak English. And I sit in my GP surgery and the receptionist tell them that they have to go online to book a blood test, and they have to get a QR code in order to gain entry to this building, for instance. So we need to go back to some very, very basic things, because what's happening is that society here has actually become quite unequal. It's no longer black or white or rich or poor. It's unequal because people have actually lost access to a lot of services. And it's not only if you try the phone, you find that there's no phone that you can use. You have to go online for everything. And I really don't think that that's good enough, because you don't get less paid, less rates, because you can't get through to the council. So what we thought of, that it would be a good idea to have training, accessible training for certain groups of people who might not be able to. I'm just thinking of people who can't speak English, people who have never used a computer or a smartphone, and what do they do? Because not everyone's got a son or a daughter to use a computer with them. You know, lots of people have to manage on their own. So I'm not sure we put everything down, and I can't remember the entire gist of the conversation, but we actually did look at maybe accessing laptops and tablets and getting screens, but actually having a program where people are encouraged to come and they do get to learn how to use. Because if you can't phone the council, everything has to go by email, then you have to know how to use all of that. And quite a lot of people don't. So we looked at capitalizing a lot more on what's available in terms of space for the training to happen. And obviously a lot of work will have to go into finding people who will benefit from this. So there's going to have to be a lot of publicity. But it's not just elderly people, it's actually quite a lot of people. We've got refugees coming into this country. I'm not sure how many languages we speak in Newham anymore, but you know, you just really have got an access problem. So we're looking at having a consultation, using what we have is the library, looking at days when it could happen, maybe Sunday, looking at times when it could happen, probably not at all in the evenings. But we have to start thinking of giving people access in all sorts of different ways. And I think Newham's actually lost its way on this, if people don't mind me saying it. So let's think about this.
Thank you very much. I see a lot of discussion went on to that, and some great ideas. Caroline's table.
Hi, they voted me.
Hi, Sonia.
I'm a reluctant talker. Okay. Okay, I'll just cut to it. We had quite a lot of chats, and some of them quite deep. We agreed a mentorship program that will address the key concerns that affect young people, such as mental health, mental health, to boost confidence and generalize awareness, including education. It will target young people in stages. In year 5 to 6, offer cultural awareness and respect. That will be via education of different cultures, understanding oneself, etc. Support this could be offered through creative arts, spoken words such as theatre and script writing. In stage 2, in the ages 15 to 16, the mentorship support could offer drug awareness and mental health awareness and confidence classes and educational development. We were hoping to look at using schools as a free space, so the majority of the funding can be used to acquire the correct support and services.
Brilliant. Joseph's table, Mohammed's table at the back.
Hi there, I'm Paul Dawson. I run Newham Cricket Club's youth section. And on our table, there's 2 of us with projects that have been running for many years. There's Joe here, that's the facilitator for the renewal programme, which caters for kids at all different activities. And it's a general thing that involves children, and youth empowerment is central to it. My project has been going for 15 years, and it's kind of got so big that it's almost overtook us, but now suddenly being squashed because we've only got one cricket ground. And that cricket ground's being populated mainly by adults who've got more money than the kids. And it's becoming very, very hard for allow the kids to have the facilities to develop. We've got all the pathway for kids to go all the way to play for Essex and England, if necessary. But we're finding that adults are coming from everywhere because there isn't a single cricket pitch in Tower Hamlets. There's only one in Newham, where when I was young, there used to be 12. And when I was young, they were all old cockneys that were football mad. But now we've got a cricket mad community and we've only got one cricket ground. So that's something that we want to change. But for our actual club, it's getting to the point where I'm 70 next year. And when I step back, I'm frightened that the whole thing will fall apart because we can't pay coaches. We can't afford to bid for the cricket pitches for the kids. Adults are taking over. And that's what our project's all about, really.
Thank you very much.
Me and Joe have collaborated in the past. I've done cricket stuff for him, and he does all sorts of activities. So we've got two separate projects on this one table, you know.
Excellent.
Just one thing, in line with what everyone is expressing, it would be nice if Newham could license more, maybe creative cultural activities, youth centres, and less jobs, less betting jobs, and no more casinos, please.
No problem.
Thank
you very much. So Maria's table.
We started first with 10 rough ideas, then we shortlisted these 10 rough ideas to two major big ideas we then detailed. First we had, when we had the 10 ideas, somebody, a strong voice, educate parents. The parents are key to education, to change of life. Then we contact schools to find out what maybe a new youth center could offer. There was the idea of a youth center. Then we need something for after school, weekend youth center, places for young people. And finally, the two ideas we had at the end were one, a youth club in East Ham, mainly in building. The second idea was then a future center, Newham. First to the youth club, to ask in schools and or parents the need, what they want, what we can prepare in this youth center. Then maybe we can use also other facilities which offer already things, maybe libraries and gyms, which courses they have. And finally, to offer in this youth center courses like photography, music, sport, maybe digital art and this stuff. And also there was a voice to shadow experts, the young people shadow experts to get inspiration for their work and their progress. This was the idea of the youth club London. And then the other idea is from my person. I was in the beginning of COVID in Tokyo. I saw the outcome of Tokyo and I was deeply shocked. And when I came back, I had an idea about now here for Newham, for a virtual future center in Newham. The idea was after the COVID time, we've lost big dreams and lost future expectation that young people need motivation, inspiration to dream again big and to have visions and finally to transform big dreams into visions. They are really they are taught to realize in a step-by-step process. As I work in a prison, I'm a multimedia teacher in a prison. I see one side of the society, and the other role is really parents play a big role, and then inspiration and values play a role. And if we do not inspire the young generation, this young generation will be taken over by drugs, by all other things. The cannabis smell in buses is terrible very often. And I think we have a big chance to invest inspiration, motivation to motivate the young people to dream again big, to give them back a future expectation, or we lose a generation. And what I see in my course in prison, young people are manipulated, extremely manipulated, that they tell me, Trump says, I don't want to speak about politicians, but they seem to be brainwashed. We have a lot of brainwashed, manipulated young people. And we have really, it's a fight to get the young people back, to inspire them, to motivate them, to realize new things. And Newham can become a place of innovation. We have 2023. We cannot do the concepts of 2000, 20 years ago, or the last century. It's really innovation. And they're also in a prison. In prison, we have high level talents. We help step by step to realize their dreams. And the same can be done in Newham.
Thank you very much. I see that as a potential bid coming in for the application, so that's good to know. And a lot of kind of youth provision ideas people have put down. Next table, Madine.
Okay, I'll sit down and talk. I'm very comfortable like this. I think we echo mainly what the other team said, because even though our topic was health and well-being, we think it should start from the youth. Nowadays, the young generation, they have been influenced by the social media, and they don't have the right path. They be getting into illegal things and drugs and things like that. So we thought they need to have something to distract them and get them engaged into a right thing to have a stable mental health. So we had a lot of ideas in our table, and we tried to bring it down to a few from it. And we thought we should have 2 sessions, like one mainly aimed at youth and one for the elderly people to have a good mental health. So we were discussing about having some working group, so some volunteered working group, regular group for youngsters. That should be a timing when they finish their school or their college or whatever it is. So that's the time, so we can have a volunteer or a paid people. They will take them regularly, once, twice, or thrice a week. It's not just limited to working group. It can be arts and crafts, or music group, or fitness group, or whatever they have different abilities into that, or cooking group sessions. So they come together, have in a safe and secure environment with an adult supervised, coming together, discussing things. Apart from the social media, they just see real people or real faces working together. And we also thought, like, similarly, something should be happening for elderly people also. Like that table said, there are a lot of people lonely in the houses. They're not social, like maybe online, like things are happening online, or they can't be. There are people who can't come out for walking groups. Even the elderly people, they are not healthy enough to come out to walking groups. So we'll have a meal session, like, bring them all together, have a meal together, or we are talking about something like a music session together, things like that for the elderly as well. Or just have like a rubbish collection on a garden. So it's like a two-way thing. You save the garden, where people come together, clear the rubbish. It's just a mental satisfaction. Okay, you cleared something, you've done something good for the community. So these kind of things we're discussing, mainly on for young and also for the elderly.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Kulsuma. Okay. Yes, please.
So we've got a project called Project Happy Feet, because it's for dads and young babies to take part in dance classes, fun dance classes. That's why it's called Project Happy Feet. And then it's basically to support dads, because dads do need support, especially new dads, to just have a bit of fun with their young ones, to help them with their mental and emotional well-being as well. And the idea is they attend the class once a week, and we provide some light, healthy snacks at the end. Yeah, I think that's the initial idea. Okay.
The other one is, so Kulsuma kindly call this project Skills for Us. Skills are us. So this is basically an upskilling program. There are a lot of expertise within the borough, which we can utilize them. This helps various intergenerational people coming together, share their stories, cascade any experience and their expertise. This is not an individual project. This could be a group project. We may need more trainers or volunteers and need right coordination. It can be anywhere. It can be held anywhere. So one of the ideas is work with adult learning centers, skills enterprise, or colleges. Yeah, that's.
Okay, much. Okay. Well, mine's got the title of Chess It Out. I am captain of East Ham Chess Club, and I'm a tutor with chess in schools. And now that I'm retired, I want to promote chess in Newham in a big way. It's a long while since we actually had a physical chess club in East Ham. We have a team, but we don't have a venue. And what I'm here tonight for, after speaking with a couple of councillors, is to apply to have chess tables, fixed chess tables, put into Central Park so that people can take their own chess sets along and play. And of course, it's a game that is totally inclusive to everybody who can play in the borough. And maybe some people might come along and find somebody to teach them to play as well.
Brilliant. Good idea on that. Thank you very much. Mary's table.
So I'm going to do mine quicker than Kulsuma in 10 seconds. So because I don't want to go over and repeat what people have already said. So we talked about healthy eating because of the cost of living. We know that the meals are being done under £10, but we also wanted to have a place where you don't just go to see cooking demonstrations and learn, but where there's a platform to create a community recipe book, where they also share videos, how to cook different recipes from different backgrounds and cultures, and they learn to share. And I know a lot of people have spoken about not being digitally connected, but we do have places like community centres and libraries where we can offer that space if that project goes ahead for them to come together, and then we can also help them to be connected as a group as well as individually, so that they are connected within their communities and their groups, and maybe looking at if that can be translated to different languages if needed. So that was one. Then we came up with an awareness project. It's not just about one subject. We'd like it around the health and well-being for mind, body and soul. So things like cancer awareness, how to help family members or someone that's suffering with cancer, and how to correctly get them help, or how you can be a bit more helpful towards it. Dementia, diabetes, stroke awareness, and more importantly, women's issues like menopause and how to do it, how to cope with it, how to deal with it, how to seek help. Can we do something better for ourselves through exercising? How can we cope better with these day-to-day life health and wellbeing issues that we face, that we can get help with? And also looking at what other services can actually help, like occupational health. There must be other departments like public health that can come together to make sure that these are long-lasting, sustainable projects, not just one-offs, or not just because it fits in £5,000, but for it to be lasting and impacting. We also looked at how it can benefit not just individuals, but as families, as older people, and also as volunteers, because we have all these people in the professions that give up the time while we're paying to do these projects. And can they upskill volunteers for these to be kept ongoing, so that the groups can still meet in these public spaces and still have this service running for a longer time? And then we came up with mindfulness with mosaic, knitting, crafts, because there are so many different ways to tackle mindfulness, and it's so easy to signpost or have online workshops, but we want the physical aspects and demonstrations of that, so that it becomes somewhere that people can come out, meet in a public space, also combat isolation, meet new people through an activity that they all have something in common through.
Excellent, thank you very much, brilliant. And you matched Kulsuma's time, so that was Brilliant. A quick 1 minute from Samantha's table. I've got a young person who's going to say a few words.
Hi, that's really loud. As a table, we talked about young people's mental health and how it needs to be talked about more, and how we're going to do this. As a table, we discussed that schools could open their doors to clubs as buildings like already exist, and that we could introduce like a way to educate young people on like how to talk about their mental health, about SN, about disabilities, to basically build a stronger bond with everyone. We talked about how it was important that young people had a place where they could go to and express their feelings, and how it's important for young people to have the time to sit down and really have the confidence to go and speak to people about things that are worrying them, such as like school, or if a girl's on her period, she can talk to other people about it. And as a young person, I think it's important that we are, we are confident enough and we feel safe enough to go up to adults, and we go and talk about things that are worrying us. As we're all growing up, we're on a journey and we're going through growth and we're going through our struggles and everything. And I think it's important we build a place where young people in this society have a place to go to when they can just feel safe, feel free, because as we all know, some people get it wrong. Some teenagers find the wrong path, and I think it's important that we really build somewhere where people can go and go, wow, I've learned so much from this. I can go to this place and feel this way. I can go and say, oh my gosh, I've just gone and had the most stressful day in the world. I want to talk about it. And it's a place where they can like express their rage, express their anger, but in a positive way. And we talked about how you could do this and how parents should be more involved in their child's mental health. And a while ago, I Googled that 50% of mental health problems are established by the age of 14. And that is crazy. And how 75% of mental health problems are established by the age of 20 to 24. And I think it's really crazy how mental health is not talked about as much. So I feel like as a community, we should all come together, express how we're feeling, even if it's like, oh, I'm a bit sad today. Talk about your feelings, because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You're going to let it sit in and you're going to let it build up, and you're just going to feel bad. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Brilliant, brilliant feedback. Thank you very much for that. So just going to the next side. Okay, so just I know we're just going beyond the time, but this is applications. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much, Sonia.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to let you know I've pretty much lost my voice today, so I'm really sorry if you hear some things and you don't. So we're now onto the stage where we're talking about how you can apply now to fund your projects. So thinking about all the projects that you've spoken about today, if there's something really passionate towards you where you feel that this will be a great project for East Ham, this is how you can fund your project. So the applications are now open. They open on the 20th of June and they will be open until the 3rd of September. You can just go to this website here, www.newham.gov.uk/project application. As I said, the applications are currently open. You can speak to your community neighbourhood team, such as myself and Zakir. If you have any trouble accessing the website or on alternative ways to apply, we have paper application forms here today. We have the resident application form as well as the VCFS application. So just to remind you, residents can apply up to £5,000 and organisations can apply up to £20,000. So there will be centralised support clinics. So there will be one on the 13th of July, and that will be how to submit your application if you're a resident. And the link is there, but we will provide all of this to you. If you need the information, you can just come to me. We'll have another clinic on the 20th of July, and that will be how to cost your project. And then on the 24th of July, how to do a consultation. And this is a really important clinic because we realised from last cycle that a lot of work went into working with the public, with other services, and this is a great way for you to learn how to do a consultation. And how to submit a VCF application was already done last week, and the recording is available on Newham Co-Create. So if you need to view how to apply as an organisation, go to the Newham Co-Create where the recording has already been uploaded. And I will be running project clinics here for East Ham. So this will be East Ham's community neighbourhoods and project clinics. So I'll be running them on Mondays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also be doing them online from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and also on Thursdays, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And you can book that with me. Daily project clinics will be held until Thursday, the 31st of August. So as we've been talking a lot about the Newham Co-Create platform, this is the most important site where you will be able to put your projects on, and you will be able to share your project with residents and other organisations for them to vote for your project if your project happens to be successful. This is also a place where you can comment and see updates on the projects or previous projects from last year, so you can see what we have done so far when we were community assemblies, but we're now people-powered places. So best thing to do is to sign up to the platform. Once you sign up, you can upload your project ideas onto there, and then this will be your journey of being part of people-powered places. So if you need any support, please come to me or come to Zakir, and you can email cn.eastham@newham.gov.uk, or you can call on the number below. It's the main number for the library. So as I said, this is the contact information. So you can email either Zakir or me, Samantha Ulysses, the Community Neighbourhood Senior Officer.
Thank you very much, Sam. I know her voice went, so she soldiered it today. Can I have Councillor Charlene McLean to do some final closing remarks?
I just think that what would have been useful is like 10 minutes at the end, the general discussion, because I did hear ideas that overlapped where people could have done maybe and made a stronger bit. So I would have appreciated some discussion at the end. Okay, thank you.
Well, I'll be brief with my remarks so that as people are getting their stuff together, they can speak to one another about any overlapping projects. So I was online earlier on this evening, and there was some really great discussions on there, and I've heard discussions in the room. And I'd just like to say to the young lady who expressed herself so wonderfully, I'm really tired. So I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm really tired. I've had a long day. But thank you so much for everyone for coming. And thank you to the working group members and to the officers. And I'll just leave it there. And I'm just looking forward to hearing and seeing the projects that are submitted. And yeah, I'm really tired. Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I know we're running about 7 minutes. I always overrun. But it's kind of important as well if you could give us feedback on how we do these events, how we do these sessions, just to kind of improve it. Also, as Sam said earlier, the applications are now open. This is not just it. If you've got an idea, you want to chat a bit more in details one-to-one, get in touch with myself or Sam, come and speak to us in the library. We're here throughout the whole closing date to the 3rd of September. If you want us to link you up with any expertise through our services, we'll be able to kind of do that as well. So thank you very much. And if you could just leave, and just say a big thank you to all the facilitators, room team, and the experts. So thank you very much, everybody. And thank you as well for attending, and our friends online as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.